Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and I've got some more StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm action for you today. It is going to be a PvP and it is pretty awesome. So, the map is Neo Planet. It is the circular symmetry map that is snowy and awesome because there's no watchtowers on it, which makes it really fun. But let's introduce these two players, and I'm going to start in the top right. The blue Protoss is someone that you may or may not have heard of. His name is Grubby and he is awesome. And now his opponent down in the lower left is the red Protoss player, Delking. Now Delking, actually he didn't send me the replays, his manager did from the team, and basically I said I'd give him a look through, do a cast for some of them. They're a new up and coming team and they are very awesome, so you should check them out and just thank you for them for sending over the replays. Now in PvP you may have heard that Void Rays are pretty good units. It's because they deal with Stalkers so very effectively, and therefore I'm interested to see how that could play out, what could go on there, and whether either player goes for it. Other things in PvP, well, Blink is less effective than it was in Wings of Liberty just due to how long the research time is, and all in all, it can be a little bit awkward. So for that reason, it tends to... well, really it tends to favour some Mothership Core timings. Mothership Core is playing a lot because it's got vision of the high ground, which is incredibly powerful if you're trying to hold a ramp with sentries, for example, because gone are the days where you can just position some Stalkers here, force field there, and pick everything off, because all you need is a Mothership Core, and then just happily shoot up, and that's all good. Anyway, what we've got coming down now is a gas, basically for both of them, the gateway for both of them, everything going as standard could be. That is fine, no one doing anything too crazy, and that's fine. So, Pylon coming down, that's all good. I like the fact that Grubby, like, of all of the new, like, skins they've done, I am 100% sure I like this one the most. Pylons with the new skin just look incredible. They look so much more hardcore. And, yeah, all in all, Cybercore coming down, Cybercore coming down a couple of seconds later. The way you can predict really what happens in PvP is all about the gas, so... the fact that Grubby's taking his second gas and he's got 3 probes in one, and just means that he's going quite tech heavy. We've got the gas slightly later at the moment for Delkin. They're doing similar builds at the moment, but it's just these slight delays for Delkin, even though they're only about 10 seconds now, they are compounding, and that is a problem in itself. That's where Grubby is potentially getting ahead. We can see that even at this time, while they're on equal worker count, it's just a slightly quicker Zealot on its way out for Grubby. Now Delkin is getting actually a second gateway out. This is a really interesting strategy. He's also pulled one of the probes from one of his gas, gone 2 probes in each gas, whereas Grubby's on 3-3. That's giving him a lot more gas, able to get out something like a Stargate or a Robo earlier. But Delkin, he's going to be able to pump more units with that second gateway. He's also got the option of getting the Mothership Core down relatively quickly, so he can use that to potentially try and do some damage, try and come in, and wow, look at this. Grubby even has gone for the super cool Zealot skin. And this is quite unusual actually, because a lot of Protoss players, or a lot of pro players I should say just in general, are massive fans of the new skins. I was talking to Todd about it at the said UK Masters, and he was just saying that it took a while to get used to it, and it can throw you off at the start slightly, especially he brought up about the Zealot skin, that he thought it was hallucinated just because of the colours of it. But now he's got used to it, he's like, yeah, it's amazing. Grubby, he's pulled this probe down, actually going to expand, which is something that in Wings of Liberty was always a very risky move. But with the Mothership Core, we were a lot safer doing that. So as long as this pressure doesn't do too much, he should be fine. Delkin also going to go and expand as well, so this extra production is just really going to be beneficial. A couple more Stalkers coming out. No Mothership Core as of yet from Delkin. Grubby does have his out though, so this is what he's been able to get just due to cutting that second gateway out, getting it a lot later, as we can see in front of us. So while this Stalker is going to try and do some damage, it's not really going to be enough. You can't take out that Nexus too quickly, and should it want to go down, well, there's the Stalker, the Zealot, and the Mothership Core could happily try and deal with that. Grubby now getting up actually 2 additional gateways, whereas Delkin going for that Stargate. That Stargate almost certain to be used for some Void Rays. They're really good. Prismatic alignment against Stalkers is crazy. You're like, hey, I've got 20 Stalkers, maybe I should kill this Void Ray, and then they go E, and everything goes wrong. This is a really smart move by Grubby. Oh my goodness, this is clever. It's a hallucinated Oracle. This could potentially really freak out Delkin, especially if he sees it. He could pull back very quickly. It also scouts as well. And obviously up in Grubby's main base, he's getting down his own Stargate as well. Stargates are so heavily ingrained in the metagame for the time being. So here goes Delkin. He sees it coming in, I do believe. If I switch over to his vision quickly, what is he looking at? No, he's looking up here. He hasn't flicked back as of yet, this Oracle. Not attacking, clearly calm because it's hallucinated, but still, it could could potentially freak out Delking if he sees it. But what's important for Grubby is he's seen exactly what is down here, knows what he's got to do. Grubby used Photon Overcharge just to force back these units because there were a couple too many there. And the reason I didn't really zoom in on that is because it was never going to do much damage. So, all in all, neither player has lost anything as of yet. The work count is slightly favouring Grubby by 1, just due to having his natural nexus out fractionally quicker, but it should level out very, very quickly. Now, the Phoenix is on its way, so I'd say the big thing, and what is really important moving forward, is that neither of these two get too aggressive. So Grubby is playing very safe, as Delkin pointed out. He's not taking any risks, he's not trying to tech super quickly, he's just getting up the 3 gates, he's got the Stargate there as well, pumping out Phoenix, and the Phoenix are just a lot more map aware. You can get, they're so much quicker, you can poke in, you can prod, you can try and pick up some probes if you get a couple of them. But the void ways are what you're going to want to transition to. Late game, a lot of voids are near unstoppable in PvP. And all in all, it's pretty good, and these two are having the most amazing in-game chat ever. Like, I didn't even read the start, but since then, it's just been rather comical and very, very fun. They're both nice guys, so of course Grubby is the nicest of guys, and that is always a good thing to know. So, second Stargate coming up for Delkin. He's going Sky Toss. That's in itself pretty scary. Grubby, on the other hand, he's not really committing to anything. He's just got a lot of gateways in a Stargate and he's pumping units. Is he going to go for the second Stargate? It looks no. He's going straight up for a Fleet Beacon. Fleet Beacon so early on and only on 1 Stargate. That means, obviously, more air units will be out short term for Delkin, but better air units will be out for Grubby. Grubby, if you go Carriers, that would be cool, but it's much more likely to be Tempest. Anyway, here we see all of the Phoenix on their way over. Delkin getting up his Fleet Beacon slightly later. So the story of this game has just been Delkin's got a lot more production facilities than that of Grubby in the early game and in the mid game. But now these Phoenix pushing in, manage to get 1 probe, but then running away as quickly as they can. That Phoenix is desperate to get back, really not going the way he might like, and trying to get out of. Oh, he's got to be very careful. 1 Phoenix goes down. That is not really what he wanted. Now it's 3 Phoenix, or rather a lot of Phoenix for Delkin against Grubby's just 3, so Grubby desperately needs to get out of there, losing a lot of Phoenix here. That was a really good engagement for Delkin there, and indeed Grubby saying good. That was good. That is really, really good. Look at this resources lost tab. 50 loss for Delkin to 1,000 for Grubby. Probably not Grubby's plan going into this. He's now getting down the increased range on Phoenix, so Phoenix on Phoenix battle. For a brief second, we did actually see Delkin go for the incredible upgrade, which is the Graviton Catapults for Carriers, and then thought, nope, I'm not going to go Carriers, I'm just going to make my Phoenix better. So Phoenix on Phoenix battles are great fun to watch. We've also got a lot more gateways being added on for Grubby, plus a Forge. Blue Foe on Overcharge very early on, and the purpose of that is just due to how many Phoenix Delkin has on. He just wouldn't be able to engage it head on very well. He needs to make sure that his probes are relatively safe. The 3rd base for Delkin is already about a 3rd done. Grubby does have a pylon down here, potentially looking to take his 3rd, surely bringing a Zealot there as well. Delkin with quite a lot of minerals banked up though, he needs to look at spending those. Grubby's been able to spend it just due to the additional gateways he's had and just being able to pump those out. Grubby now with his 2nd Stargate as well. He's got the Anon Pulse Crystal upgrade complete, allowing him to do this, and Delkin's got to be careful, these two just going against each other. Delkin does have the increased range though at the moment, but now it's exactly equal. These two are going to be going for it. A Phoenix goes down, 2 go down for Grubby. Grubby, this is not a good fight for you, using Photon Overcharge yet again, pulling back more Phoenix going down. Seriously, this is incredibly cost effective for Delkin at the moment, about 4 times more effective in terms of the resources he's losing, but Grubby has got a larger ground army. In terms of the work count, Delkin ahead by 6 as well. He's really doing well against Grubby here, actually. And Grubby, he's just got to be very, very cautious now, because every time he loses these engagements with the Phoenix, the air dominance goes further and further in the Red Protoss' favour, especially considering this 3rd base is now up and running. Once these gas get going as well, the production capability of the Red Protoss is going to be so far up against that of Grubby himself. So Delkin, he's doing good. He's getting the shield upgrade as well. The reason you get shields is because obviously they benefit all Protoss units, including those Phoenix. Very, very important. The +1 air weapons coming down for both of them for the time being. Grubby getting out +1 ground weapons though, and his ground army is looking substantially stronger, mainly due to the 11 Zealots. The store can count the same, but 11 Zealots are surprisingly good at tanking up some damage, so that's something that Delkin perhaps needs to be a little bit cautious of. Another proxy pylon coming down Grubby. Oh, Grubby, you're sending in your Phoenix as well, but you're exposing your base because you've left some back. Phoenix going up a bit higher, taking a quick look around, making sure nothing too fishy is going on. Grubby, as of yet, does not know about this 3rd base. He's completely unaware of it, and that in itself could be a problem. This could also be a 3rd base taken. You can expand either way on this map due to rotational synergy, but now we've got some Phoenix on Phoenix. Micro battles going on again and again. Delkin coming out very, very well here. The Stalker's trying to come in. Do manage to pick up a couple. Some reinforcing Phoenix are getting taken down. The Phoenix count 11 to just 2 in Delkin's favour. Grubby seriously in some problems here. And if we look at the loss tab, just losing a lot more. Delkin pulling back. He does have a couple of his Phoenix knocked out that were reinforcing. But just look at the size of this ground army. Delkin desperately just needs some sheer units to start taking this out. He can get a lot of lifts off just to engage the ground army piece by piece. But it's not something that Grubby necessarily is going to fall for. He can push in. He's got a lot of units coming over. The supply isn't Delkin's favour, but he's coming just so heavily to air units. He's got a lot of Phoenix and more Zealots getting warped in urgently. A Voidway even coming out now just to help deal with some of these Stalkers. Grubby taking his third behind this. He's got pylons everywhere. The reinforcements streaming in. And as we see now, in they go. The Stalker's trying to start doing some damage. We do have some good muta on muta fights happening. Foden overcharge goes down. Delkin desperate to try and defend this, and as he goes forward, he is getting some lifts. He's trying to snipe off anything he can very, very quickly. That many Phoenix still a lot of damage to pretty much everything. Force fields going down though. Those force fields very, very nice. Just preventing a lot of Delkin's army from moving forward. Foden overcharge trying to pick off that pylon right outside Delkin's natural, but Grubby, he is going for it. He's trying to do a bit more aggressive play. Stalker's getting lifted, getting taken out, literally two-shotted by that many Phoenix. It's an incredibly frustrating situation to be in. The Zealots on the ground getting cleaned up by Delkin's Stalkers, but out comes the Voidway. I think that Voidway may actually force Grubby back, but he's not going to be able to engage that cost effectively, and indeed he does fall away. But Grubby, his third base is nearly up and running, but look at how long these three bases have been mining for Delkin. An absolute eternity. Grubby still unaware of the third even being out. But then again, Delkin unaware of the third being out for Grubby either quite yet. The loss tab still favouring Delkin. Percentage-wise though, Grubby is trading more cost effectively than he was earlier. Now the pylons are going to start going down. This is frustrating for Grubby. He committed a lot. He put the proxy pylons out. Delkin taking his third Stargate now. More Voidways getting pumped out. The Voidway count is just what you want late game as opposed to anything else. Now, the worker count, haven't spoken about that for a while, 71 to 54. Grubby doesn't really need any more than 54 at the moment. He is saturated as his bases, but can start pumping out now his thirds up and running just to really try and push forward there, and that's why we see them still in production for him. +1 ground weapons are on the way out for Delkin. Now, upgrade-wise, we're looking at 1-1. The range increase on Phoenix for both. Delkin does have shields, whereas Grubby has +1 already finished. Grubby not continuing any other upgrades for the time being, just instead focusing on getting a couple more photon cannons down, just to make sure that these bases are secure from Phoenix harassment. Delkin taking his fourth. This fourth base is going to be very, very critical in making sure that he's got a great income. This has been a really long PvP actually. Grubby having to remake his mothership core after losing it in the push. And just generally speaking, if we look at the army supply, favouring Delkin by 30 now. That's quite big. The next wave warpins will bring it slightly closer, but Grubby does have to be very, very careful. Delkin also managed to get up his Twilight Council, so he's got the option of going for these Templar Archives, which he's doing now. Also getting charge out fairly soon. +2 air weapons, as well as the double upgrades for air, and now also ground weapons. So this is everything piecing together just as Delkin would like, and he must be exceptionally happy about this. I would be if I was up against Grubby and I was doing this well. Now, with the robotic facility, everything coming just as we would want. Grubby is a base down yet again as the fourth finishes up for the red Protoss player, but the Phoenix, they're getting ready to go up into this third base. A lot of cannons are there, a lot of Stalkers also coming up. The Voidways are going to help tremendously. The Phoenix are ready, they are waiting. Grubby does not have a single Voidway up against the three, and just look at the amount of damage they do. The Phoenix on Phoenix fights are going down. Grubby does have inferior numbers to that of his opponent, but he does have a nice little ground army. A time warp goes down, just trying to prevent things from moving away. Mass recall, there is not enough energy for it at the moment. It's a good 40 energy away. Phoenix on Phoenix fights going over the third, trying to bait back into those cannons. Grubby trying to retreat, but with the time warp does allow a few more units to go down. The Voidway getting focused down. You don't want to be losing those Voidways. So much DPS potential there. But for the moment, Delkin, he's moving back. He's warping in small units. He's trying to get ready for round 2 of this. A single probe for Grubby. This probe is going to die incredibly quickly, but does see that the warpins came down. Now, these Phoenix are on a bit of a death mission. Grubby does have superior numbers there, will be able to take them out. That is what he will want to do. But falling back Delkin now, he does still have a relatively good position. So many more Stalkers, 17 to 8, but he doesn't have those Zealots. His gateway count also lower if memory serves. If I take a quick glance, can I find where all those gateways are? 7 gateways compared to 9 of Grubby. So that's something, that's why Grubby's able to get the superior ground army. If we look at the army supply though, 80 to 60 in Delkin's favour. Delkin, he is just preparing for it, he's ready for it, and all in all, these two just in a bit of a stalemate. Need to be very, very cautious how they engage, because one bad engagement could win or lose the game. Delkin getting out a couple of High Templar though. These High Templar could potentially do an awful lot. There is no Storm research though, so probably just for the Archon. So there we go, Archon on its way down now, pushing forward Delkin. He is up to 170 supply, all but a couple. He's got the +2 air armor on its way. He's got +2 shields on its way. Pushing in towards the 4th of Grubby. Just a couple of Zealots stopping, a couple of units going down there. Grubby has got to be very, very, very cautious. He is trying to pull these Phoenix back and his Mothership Core. Where is Delking going to go? Towards the 3rd, towards the natural? We'll wait to see. He's just trying to pull Grubby back, and we can see that it is succeeding. This means that if he wants to move in, it should be great. A time warp going down, just slowing the speed of reinforcements can come through. Delkin desperate to try and take out this Nexus at the 3rd, and if he is able to do so, wow, that would just be incredibly potent. But a good mass recall comes out from Grubby, but the Stalker's already going. Is he going to be able to snipe him? No, he's focusing down the army first. He wants to make sure that he wins this fight because he's got a great attack on. So many of Grubby's Stalkers unable to engage just due to the position. The 3rd Nexus does fall, and this puts Grubby in an incredibly tough position. His supply falling ever so rapidly. Delkin doing an amazing job, as we can see here, picking off those Stalkers, just getting the lift. Such good air superiority, all coming from those initial Phoenix engagements, which favoured him so much. Pushing Zealots in as well towards the natural base. So many probes got taken out, 20 killed. That takes the work count 72 to just 45 in the red player's favour. And now Grubby, he's in full retreat. He's got to come and clean some of this out. The natural Nexus is getting a bit low. It should be saved, but it is going to be very, very easy to pick off for Delkin in the future. So while this has managed to stay up, Grubby is now effectively on one mine. No, not even effectively. He's on one mining base compared to 3 mining bases for Delkin. Let's just look at that income. Look at how beneficial that is, how red that is. That is what he wants. He is looking to be in an amazing spot. Grubby's got to go for a counter-attack. He knows it. He knows that is only half hope, and Immortal is coming out. 3 more Voidways had just popped. They're going to help against this. They're going to just shred through those Stalkers. The Archons, potentially a bit concerning, but just look at the sizes for some lifts. Could go up. What is going to get lifted? Well, it's just going to be a few Stalkers to start with, and just look at the DPS out of those Phoenix. More lifts going down, trying to do as much as possible. Archons here as well now for Delking. Grubby's force is getting destroyed, and there is the GG. Well played, and Grubby has a game taken off him. Good work by Delkin there, really playing solidly. Grubby must be a bit disappointed, but those two both have great attitudes, great sportsmanship from both. Remember everyone, like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. I get new games up every day of the week. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see each and every one of you tomorrow. Bye for now.